Good evening, everybody. What day is it? Shoot, I don't even know what day it is. It is Tuesday night, February 16th, here in Zhongshan, China. And I am back. I am back from my road trip. And I spent the last 2 weeks on the road. Feels great to be back in Zhongshan. Lots and lots and lots to talk about. You haven't heard from me for a while. Last you saw of me, I was in a hotel in Yunfu and complaining about some issues that we were having, just extremely tired from traveling. And of course, we've done another week and then some on top of that. But let me just say I am streaming from mainland China. The connection seems to be pretty good, and hopefully it will continue. And if it doesn't, if it goes out, again, I will come back. You know, if you guys watch my live streams, you know you're accustomed to this thing. It's one of the things that comes with live streaming from mainland China. Let's do some business real quick. All of my videos are brought to you by fcustom.com. Live streams are brought to you by this. Here you can get customized jerseys in baseball, basketball, football, and now they're doing hoodies, customized hoodies. Hit the link below and enter the coupon code WalkaboutRojo for an additional 10% off your purchase. I have many of these. I love them. They're great, and this is a wonderful company to work with. And I hope you can get a nice gift for yourself or for your family. Okay. Well, with that being said, so here in Zhongshan, it is a beautiful evening in Zhongshan. It is still Spring Festival time. I don't think people will go back to work until probably Friday. I think it's after Lantern Festival. So many of the businesses are still closed. You know, many of the mom and pop shops, many of the restaurants, you know, the barbecue joints. But all the malls are open. All the malls are open, and of course, I live on top of a major mall here in the city, so it's packed. It's not your typical Spring Festival. I know the guys from, of course, China talked about this a little bit on their recent podcast. They talked about, a lot of people did not travel for Spring Festival this year. Usually, Spring Festival is the largest migration of human beings in the world. This year, there's still a lot of people traveling, but because of the COVID thing, they really warned against it. Now, here in southern China, there was no COVID outbreak, but we were still and out of an abundance of caution, we were still put on restrictions as a teacher. And they basically said, Paul, you can travel if you want, but we recommend you don't leave Guangdong province. So I didn't. I stayed in Guangdong province. There were no other restrictions placed on us traveling city to city, but I still had to get a COVID test. I didn't have to, but by the rules, but everywhere I went, people were asking for this COVID test. And the COVID test was good for 7 days. And so I split the road trip into 2 weeks. One week, and then came back to Zhongshan, got another test, and then went back on the road. And that came in handy. Even though technically we're not required to have it to travel within the province, every hotel asked for it that we stayed in. The last live stream I did, we talked about some issues that I was having with hotels not allowing foreigners. That only lasted a couple of days, and it happened all around the country. But it really quickly caught on in the online community here throughout China that this was happening to foreigners who are currently living in China. And it seemed like overnight it stopped. And the community here in China basically said, and I'm talking about the Chinese people, they basically said, this isn't right. You can't treat foreigners this way. And so all the hotels and all of the businesses stopped this practice of not allowing foreigners to stay in their establishments or eat in their restaurants. I'm sure there are still some issues with it here and there, but my general sense and what I get from my friends is that the first couple days of the Spring Festival travel season, that was a huge issue, but it quickly caught on in the news and in the social media area, and then it went away. And the Chinese people said, we're not treating our foreign friends this way. You shouldn't allow it. And there was a lot of backlash against businesses that were doing this. So everything from that point on was smooth sailing. It was very, very easy. They still asked for our COVID test, which we were happy to give, and our QR codes and our health codes and things like this. No problems whatsoever. Now, in Zhongshan is a manufacturing town here in Guangdong, and usually during Spring Festival, it empties out. It is a ghost town here, and this is a city of about 3.5 million people. And in the center of the city, there's still some people that hang around. But when you go to the outskirts where all the factories are, you can literally lie down in the middle of the road and look at the stars and not worry about a truck running you over because there's just no traffic. There's nobody out there. And it's still kind of the case in the manufacturing areas right now. But here in the center of town, there's still a lot of people around. And again, most of the mom and pop businesses are still closed. Think of it like Christmas. Christmas Day, all the mom and pop shops close. Here, they close for like a week. And the only places open are the parks and the malls. And because there's a lot of people who have stayed in the city, the malls are packed with people. The restaurants are packed with people. It was Valentine's Day yesterday or 2 days ago. And that was craziness. It was over an hour and a half wait at most restaurants. And parking, of course, is just terrible. And the parks are completely packed with people. So people are looking for things to do. But again, I think everything will go back to normal probably starting this weekend. Businesses will start to open up. And for example, I tried to go to a restaurant today for my late lunch, and it was closed. I ended up eating a hamburger, which I'll talk about here in a second. A new hamburger joint that opened up here in town. If you've watched my vlogs, you know that I like food, and I do the hamburger hunt here in Zhongshan. I'm doing part 2 of that with all the great hamburgers. Brand new hamburger joint opened up like a week and a half ago. So I went and I ate there. I was the only one in the restaurant, but I got to talk with the owner and, ate the burger and give him some of my feedback there, which was really great. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Say hi to me. We're all out there. I got a lot to share about the road trip. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to share some photos, and then we'll do some news. So Nicholas is on. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday for me. I know. It's still holiday for me, so I'm not fully into it. I don't go back to the classroom until March 8th. I have 3 more weeks. But I only did a 2-week holiday. Now I'm back here for 3 weeks because I got a lot of work to do here. So I did have a great holiday. It was more, hello from India. Hi. We were talking about India recently and wanting to go there soon, maybe. Jamaica Funk said, hey, we have you to thank. Gene, thank me for what? Iceman says, hi, Paul. Okay. Daniel Dumbro. Thank Daniel. By the way, Daniel, we were in Shenzhen like 3 days ago, Mona and I. And we stayed in Futian, and we went to Coco Park specifically to eat Taco Bell. But I wanted to go by your brewery, Taps, but I couldn't find it. I don't know why. Was I in the wrong place or something? But I really wanted to just experience Taps. It was Saturday night, and Coco Park was going insane. I was very happy to get Taco Bell, even though it kind of made us sick, as we all know it will. But Daniel, thank you for joining me, man. I'm a huge fan, and I appreciate your thing. Let's see. What's the new hamburger joint called? The new hamburger joint here in Zhongshan was Mu Tech Hamburger. And I met the owner. He spoke really great English. He goes to Europe a lot for business. He works I think he's a factory owner too. Great guy. Brand new, like 10. This is the first restaurant he's opened. Very kind of minimalistic decor, right across the street from Izhong. So the burgers were great. I gave him some honest feedback about how I think they can improve. It wasn't the best burger I've had in Zhongshan. That still goes to Jam Cafe, but Jam Cafe is also the most expensive one. I did eat at Fat Joe's here in Zhongshan, which is a fantastic burger for the money. Again, I'm a burger guy, Daniel, and I'm from LA, which is like the mecca of hamburger joints. Not just, this is the birthplace of McDonald's and all that, but it's also got these gourmet burger joints, these do-it-yourself burger joints, and hamburgers are just the greatest food ever created, so that's why I focus on that. Iceman's on. Thank you, Iceman. Daniel the Beer Man, you got to reach out next time. Yes, I'm in Nansha, the original location of the. I'm sorry, brother. Okay, so you're in Nansha. We stopped by the next morning after we stayed the night. We went to Teacher Coffee in Shenzhen, which is a little cafe I've been wanting to go to. Very cool place. We had a nice little lunch there. Thank you for helping stop the foreigner hotel discrimination from your last trip. You spread the word. I don't think I did very much on that, Gene, but hey, actually, I sent the word. Oh, focus. Is it going to focus? If I'm a little blurry, sorry guys, we'll just focus this. I haven't figured out this camera crap yet. Okay, Big Kahuna Burger juices. Big Kahuna Burger. Obviously, a reference from Pulp Fiction. Awesome. Still get to see more options opening up. All right. Well, Daniel, next time I'm in Shenzhen, I want to go back to Shenzhen because there's more that I got to see there. We ended up eating some Indian food at a place called Bollywood, which was fantastic Indian food. Oh, my God. We ate so much. Mona's a foodie, and I'm a foodie too, so we just we tried to try different things. But I wanted to try. I like brew houses. I like getting a you know I don't like going to bars and just buying a beer out of the tap. I like guys who make their own beer, so I really was looking forward to trying that. Monster Burger, which is really good. Shuko Nansha. Yeah, Shuko, I have an insight to a hotel that I'm going to be doing a review at in Shuko. I mean, it's right across the bay from me, so you just take the ferry right over from Zhongshan. It's like an hour, and it takes you right to Boai, Boan, the the airport there, right? And you get on the subway, take you into Shuko. It's pretty close, and there's a lot of great food in Shuko. I'm a Mexican food guy, so I love tacos and things like that. So Coyote is one of my favorite Mexican restaurants in China, so I go there a lot. But the cruise ship right there at SeaWorld, there's like a hotel there. I'm going to be staying there very shortly to make a video review of that hotel. So maybe I'll come by and see it. Of course, China. Things are opening in Shenzhen this CN week. Yes, Shenzhen seemed to be wide open. There weren't very many people in the hotel I stayed. I stayed at the Hui Hotel, Boutique Hotel, which is a design hotel. Very, very cool video I'll have out in a couple weeks. It's got a lot going on. Bowen, yeah. Bowen. Jeez. All right, more scotch for me. I'm drinking my mother's favorite drink tonight, which is Chivas Regal. That's the place in Shenzhen called. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's talk about my week. I'm gonna share some photos and talk about this road trip that I had. I started in Western Guangdong. The previous live stream, I talked about some of the adventures I had in Zhaoqing and Deqing, and got to Yunfu, and I'm going to pick it up from there and share some photos. I got some beautiful photos to share with you and stories to go along with this that, I don't think you're going to hear anywhere else. So let's get into that real quick. All right, so, you got that. Let's see here. So let's start with this one, this picture here. Okay, so this is obviously, it looks like a hotel room, right? And it is. It was used as a hotel room. Now, the studio that I'm in now, I've been in for about 2.5 months, and my lease is up soon. It was a short-term lease just to try it out. In this photo, will be my new studio. This is 2 floors up on the other side of the building, still a corner unit. And it was, for the last 2 years, used as a hotel room. And that's what it looks like right now. Obviously, it's filthy dirty. I mean, nobody's been in this room for 6 months. And all of this is going to come out. And over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to completely redo it. Of course, I'm going to do the walls, furniture, these desks, and the studio will be created in this space. And I got a long-term lease on this place for my studio and just my office here in Zhongshan. And I'm saving about, it's slightly smaller, just a tad smaller than the place I'm in now, but it's still got $1 million view of Zhongshan, and it's about 40% cheaper. So I'm super stoked on this. Again, all of this stuff is coming out, and all of my stuff will be going in. I'm going to redo the walls, the curtains, and everything. So the next 2 weeks, I am working on this new studio. I'm very excited about it, and like I said, saving money is always a good thing, right? We looked at the lofted places in the next building over, and I was really excited for that because I can have like a little living area on top, even though I still live at the college. I could have that living area on top, and at the bottom could be my office, my studio. But the echoing effect really got in there. I started talking, and the echo just wasn't working. So I elected to just use this one, save a little bit of money. Remember, I can customize it my own way. Here in this studio here, there's a lot of furniture that doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the management company, like this ugly yellow couch right over here. A table, this giant bed that is rock hard. I mean, these things I don't want. So I'm going to be able to make it my own. So I'm very excited over the next 2 weeks here, because I'm not teaching for a while. This will become the new Walkabout Rojo studio, probably starting March 1st. So I've got about another 2 weeks left here. Awesome. Iceman says, summer is coming, so opening up is good for business. Daniel, thanks very much for joining me, man. I appreciate your presence, brother, and I hope to enjoy some of your beer in the future, dude. Yeah. Okay, so that's what's happening with the studio. Let's go to the next photo and continue on. Okay, I saw this. This is in Yunfu. I'm a pickup truck guy. I'm an American. I love pickup trucks, and I've had a couple pickup trucks. My family owns Fords. I've had Toyotas, and this is a rare sight in China, is something like this. And I just thought this was super masculine, super cool, and I had to take a photo right before we started up the mountain to check it out and sleep up there. We were getting some fruit, and we saw this, and I'm seeing a lot more these giant pickup trucks. You got the homegrown pickup trucks made by Great Wall and JAC and everything, but now I'm also seeing more and more Toyotas. I saw a Dodge Ram here on the road recently, and there's some Ford Raptors. There's a Ford F1 guy in this building owns a Ford F-150. So it's great to see these giant pickup trucks. They're not good vehicles for China unless you drive on the highway. If you're driving in the cities, this thing is impossible to park, impossible to navigate. I mean, I have a small SUV, but my SUV can sometimes be difficult to navigate some of these, older streets and find parking. So I can't imagine owning something like this and trying. But the laws are changing, and vehicles like this are now starting to be allowed in some of the major cities, which is great news. I think I've talked about pickup truck culture in China exploding in the future, and we're starting to see it. The new Great Wall pickup truck, the Ute, they're exporting this to Australia, is a huge hit there, and it's a huge hit here. I'm seeing a lot of them here on the ground, and that's a big pickup truck especially for China. It's not as big as this one, but I'm excited to see this culture kind of take off, because I would like one, to be honest. Gene gives me some advice. Gene says, yeah, it was go. I ask about the sound then. There, high ceilings, not good. Get some acoustic tiles to absorb the sound. I have some carpeting to absorb the sound. This has high ceilings here, and then the new unit has high ceilings as well. But the echoing effect isn't so bad. It's okay. It's dampening. Again, the new studio will be completely mine. It'll be completely cut. This is just a temporary place and has been. So I have to redo the walls, the curtains. I have to clean it up and furnish it. So it's going to take some time, but it'll get there. All right, we climbed the mountain. This is a great photo we took at sunset on top of a mountain. I can't remember the name of the mountain now. It's in Yunfu. And you can you can drive to the top. I thought we were going to park and have to climb this mountain, but we ended up, the gates were open. And so there's this little 1-lane road that wings its way up the mountain all the way to the top to where the TV antennas are. This is the most dangerous road I've ever driven on in my life. In my life. It was a concrete road, but it was so bloody steep, and the switchbacks were so sharp. It was, so to give you an example, I have a stick shift, okay? And there were so many people on this road going up and down, and there are no guardrails and 1-lane road. So passing somebody, on this road was very, very dangerous. I got some video of it. But if you let off the gas and in a stick shift, and then you try to get the gas back on, the clutch, playing with the clutch and getting it just right, you are going to drift backwards into the car behind you. What ended up happening was you drift backwards, but it's so steep in the concrete, you end up spinning your wheels and just burning your clutch. It was so dangerous climbing this road, I can't tell you. And with all the people and the other cars around, why they open up this road to the public, I have no idea. But once we got to the top, we saw this beautiful sunset. And it was well worth it. And this particular spot here, there weren't too many people. There were other people out watching the sunset, taking photos with their families. As soon as the sunset went down, I got another couple of pictures. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Well, we enjoyed the sunset on top of this mountain. So you can see here, this is taken from my drone. So I got some great drone shots coming in future vlogs for this. As soon as the sun finally went down, everyone got back in their car and drove that damn road all the way back into town, trying to beat all the light being gone, because driving that road in the dark would be insane, absolutely insane. We stayed the night. We pitched our tent, had ourselves a little barbecue, and we actually slept really well up here. It wasn't too cold, it wasn't too windy, and in the morning I got up and I watched a little bit of the sunrise. It was gorgeous, and we knew that this place was going to be flooded with people the next day because it was a weekend. And it was a Sunday. So we had to get down the mountain, off that mountain, before a ton of people came. It was a race against time as soon as the sun woke up. But it was an amazing adventure. I'll never drive that road again, though. Why it's open to the public, I have no idea. I'm going to get it'll be in a future vlog, and you'll get I can't remember the name of the mountain right now. Let's see a couple more comments. God, a lot of people on. It's great to see everybody, guys. All my friends. It's wonderful. Nicholas says, all the best with the studio. Thank you. I'm going to be documenting it. It's going to be in a video. It's going to be a vlog. I've always done videos about my apartments. I'm going to do a video about this place before, after, the other units that this management company manages, and then the new studio, which I've rented from the owner directly. The owner is a very nice man. He lives in Shenzhen. We've connected on a human level, I think. So I'm very excited. Of course, he's gonna let me do the improvements. Of course, I have to pay for it, but that's fine. It's gonna make it my own, and I'm very excited for it. Let's see. Ziv says it's Ziv. Thank you for joining me, brother, and thanks for the comments you made on your recent show. Let's take a look. Okay, got this focus thing and stuff. If you guys don't know, Ziv's got a new YouTube channel. Ziv is the owner of Here Magazine. Go check out his YouTube channel. They're very, very good interview. He's got access to things in China that most people do not. So if you want to see some interesting things in China, check out Ziv's channel. It's the new America. There will be more and more car enthusiasts in years to come. I agree, Ziv. I'm from LA. This video. Stay. Okay. Ziv's absolutely right. Ziv and I have talked about cars in the past, and I think especially in Guangdong, there's definitely a car culture here, all throughout the Pearl River Delta. I'm from LA, which is known for its car culture. China is the largest car market in the world, and it's continuing to develop and continuing to grow. I think the car culture here is going to just explode. It's going to put Japan, Korea, America, and Europe in the dust. And I'm very bullish on the car culture here. And it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves and how it takes on its own unique personality. I'm very excited about it. Truck culture is going to be part of that. I've been throughout Southeast Asia, and I've seen the truck culture in other places in Asia. I think we're going to see that here in China too, especially in the rural areas. But there's also a tuner culture here, much like there is in Japan and LA. There's definitely a luxury car culture here amongst the rich. But it's fascinating, and it's starting with EVs. America is coming quickly. I'm happy to see America, really start to turn out these new EVs. Ford's doing it. GM announced like 35 new EV models in the next few years or something like that. I mean, it's coming. American innovation, American manufacturing is going to be a huge thing for EVs. But China's got a huge start in it. And what I see in China, what's happening here, is fascinating to watch. It really is. It's exciting to watch. I haven't been this excited about the car market in a long time. Let's see. Dalton. Hey, Dalton. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining me. It says Daniel Jambum is here. What? How are you getting some cool YouTubers to watch you? Well, Daniel reached out to me a few months back. And he's right across the bay from me. And the YouTube community here in China is really small, and we're all friends. I mean, we all know about each other. We might not have met everyone, and we all have different points of views, especially the YouTube drama that I don't like to get involved in. But we all know each other. We all collaborate and talk to one another. We're all friendly with one another, and it's wonderful to have a community like that within China. So, and Daniel's a big part of that. Why bloody? Why, Jason says, why bloody? I don't know what you're talking about, Jason. Juice, is your next car going to be an EV? Probably not. My lifestyle, EVs are best for urban lifestyles, but I like to explore, and I like to go to some rural areas. I like to go off the beaten path, and I find right now that gas engines are the best for that. It could change, but no, my vehicle that I have right now, you guys know it. It's a Haval H6. It's almost 10 years old, but I baby it, and it still runs really great. I plan on having that for a few more years. I mean, I don't plan on buying a new vehicle anytime soon. So my next car being an EV, probably not, but it could change my mind. You never know. Paul, you need a Jeep like China BJ40L. I had one that's amazing going on long trips in China. Iceman, you're out. We've been talking about that because I don't have a four-wheel drive vehicle, and some of the places I really wanted to go during this road trip, I couldn't get to because I didn't have four-wheel drive or even the ground clearance to go down some of these dirt trails. So we were talking about that. I'd love to have a Jeep. I really would. It's like one of my dream cars. And they're built here in China, but they're so bloody expensive. The BJ40, which is the Chinese version of the Jeep. A lot of people say it's a copycat of the Jeep. I think it's really its own thing, but it's similar in its utility. Is half the price of the Jeep. And, Jeep, Chrysler products, they're not known for reliability. And the BJ40 is also kind of, amongst my Chinese friends, they say the same thing. The BJ40 is kind of not known for its reliability. But, chabador, right? For half the price. The BJ40 is nice. I've sat in it. I've ridden in it. It's a great car. I mean, it competes with the Jeep. I think the Jeep, I drove a Jeep in America, and I loved it. I love driving that Jeep. Got great technology in it, and I think it's a little bit more road-wise. The drivetrain is a little bit more refined than the BJ40, but the BJ40 is a lot more comfortable. Does that make sense? And it's like half the price of a Jeep. So we'll see what happens. I mean, again, I'm not planning on buying another vehicle for a couple of years. Dalton says subscribe to good. Subscribe to Ziv. And Ziv's a good guy. Again, he's got connections here in China that very few other people have. My next car is an EV for sure. Get Ziv, you think about maybe a BYD? You know, my buddy just bought the BYD. I did a video on it. The BYDs are pretty nice. You know, they're price for torque and power. I don't think there's a better deal out there in the EV market. I know you have a BYD and you love it, so check out the BYD. I'm very impressed with the new BYD SUVs. They're pretty awesome, and for the price, I don't think you can get that kind of horsepower anywhere else. Battery is the problem. Short range, yeah, it's not the short range. I don't mind the short range EV. I do mind the amount of time it takes to charge it. With gas, you just pull off the side of the road, 5 minutes, you're filled, you're on your way. You know, and there's gas stations everywhere. With EVs, you've got to really plan it. You have range anxiety that comes with an EV, especially on road trips. You have to plan your trip around the charging times and the charging places, because the infrastructure is nowhere near as big as the regular gas infrastructure is. That's obvious. I mean, it's getting better. We'll see what happens in a few years. Jonathan Tai, you're back. Yes, I'm back, Jonathan. Thank you so much. I said, cost 160,000 yuan new and used as 100. I can get them cheaper than 100,000. They're on the used market. Those BJ40s are a great deal. Oh yes, trust is the price of a Jeep and the 4x4 turbo, 2.3 turbo, and I had a Jeep. Same bro, you get your money's worth. Yeah, I mean, again, dreaming. We're dreaming, right? I mean, I'm not a rich man, guys. I live in Germany. ATM, and I really love my diesel, 6-cylinder diesel on the Autobahn is so fire. You know, I've been to Germany. I've never driven in Europe. I would love to drive on the Autobahn. It's a dream of mine. The Way. Yeah, the Way is interesting. I like the Way. Way is, I think that's the cousin of the Havel. And they're a little bit more sporty. They look really cool. They're like a squashed down version of the Havel, a little bit wider tires. They're more sporty, a little bit more expensive, but great designs. Also, check out, there seems to be a rivalry in the SUV market between Great Wall and Geely. And they have their Great Wall, they have their Havel and Geely brands for their SUVs, but now they've come out with these new brands, which are a little more sporty, targeted more to a younger market, a little bit more interesting designs, and that's the Way and the Lynk & Co. And I gotta say, comparing these two vehicles is wonderful. It's like comparing Ford with Chevy. They're alike in so many ways, yet different in so many ways. And I want to do some. I mean, I'm a fan of the Havel. I love the Havel and Great Wall product, but Geely has a lot of these design cues from Volvo, and I love Volvo. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two evolve over the next few years. This rivalry between Geely and Havel and their younger children, if you will, the Lynk & Co. and the Way. Very, very nice cars. Again, I think the next generation of these two vehicles are going to take the world by storm. The new 6 has caught my eye. It's a world-class vehicle. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so on the way back from Zhongshan, that Mona just texted me. She said, Zhongshan. Thank you, Mona. That's where we were. We stopped by Kaiping. Now, I love Kaiping. Kaiping is in the city of Jiangmen. And it's this about 100-year-old kind of history. It's got more history than that, but most of the buildings here are 100, 200 years old. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is a river. You can see it's very low, kind of dirty, and all the buildings are closed. This area is the main town center, and it's been closed since 2017. When I first came to China, it's one of the first places I went to, and I got to walk around this area. And it was dilapidated and old and it needed to be spruced up. So it's been closed since 2017, the whole area. You can't get in there. This is taken from across the river. And they're spending billions of RMB to redo this area. And there are these dialos. I think I got a picture of the dialo. Yeah, this is not your typical dialo. This is more of a villa. But there are these dialos, these old buildings that were built by overseas Chinese. So they got Chinese and Western kind of design elements. And a lot of these people have a lot of money. And these are throughout southern Guangdong, especially on this side of Guangdong. They have them right down the street from me here. There's a couple of dialos here in Zhongshan. But in Kaiping, in the city of Jiangmen, there's a huge concentration. And there's all these like little villages all around the countryside. And each little village has a couple of these dialos, these watchtower houses, which are built as like fortresses. And they have like gun slits for, this is back during, the turn of the century and the 19-teens, 1920s. You all know what was going on in China during these times. So they built these houses, and they're all over the place, and they're absolutely beautiful. I love driving around this area, Kaiping, which is this green countryside, beautiful country roads, little villages everywhere, and then you find these beautiful, because they're built like fortresses, so they're well-preserved houses. And the backdrop of the mountain, the backdrop of these flat green fields of farms and everything, it's a fascinating place. I've been there a few times, and I want to spend more time here. We toured one of the villages, and of course the old town that was closed. We couldn't get in, but I got a video coming out about this. It was fascinating, just great stuff. Okay, so after we did this, we came back to Zhongshan. We got our test redone, and we went north towards Yingde, just on the border of Yingde and Xiaolan to the Guangdong Grand Canyon. Now, this doesn't compare to the American Grand Canyon at all. American Grand Canyon is one of the 7 wonders of the world, I think, right? And so this is much, much smaller, but it's still a fascinating sight. As you can see, this waterfall, and the photo doesn't give it justice. This waterfall is so big. And yes, we climbed from the bottom to the top. We did. We climbed all the way down, walked around the canyon, and climbed. There's a ton of waterfalls in this canyon that we had the whole place. We were walking on the ridge, and we were all alone. It was rainy, cold night. A cold day. We stayed overnight in a cabin on a lake nearby and had a barbecue, and that was wonderful. Just, next day we woke up and walked along the ridge of this canyon, and we started coming down into the canyon. We came across these 3 girls that said, "Oh, we went down to the bottom. You can't walk around, and so you should turn around." And Mona said, "No, we're not turning around." Uh oh, don't end. I'm losing my connection. Can you guys still see me? I might lose my connection soon. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can still see me. I'm going to continue going. I'm going to keep going. Anyways, we walked down to the bottom of this canyon, and we were the only ones there. We had the whole canyon to ourselves from one end to the other. There was nobody else. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. And it was cold and rainy. That's what kept most of the people away, I'm sure. But this is just one of the waterfalls. I got a good video of me slipping on this one. But as you can see, just natural, beautiful waterfall. Incredible. That's from the top of the ridge. Again, a video coming out on all of this stuff. Thanks for giving me the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. And of course, we were hungry. That's just me looking for food. Mona being friendly, I guess. Okay, so let's go back to some of these comments real quick. Okay. Boy's a big. For Juice says, for EV, I'll go with either BYD or Neo. One got its own battery, the other can swap battery. Battery swap technology seems to be the thing right now, but future, I don't see battery swap technology as the thing. I think quick charging and roads, because I've talked about this before, you have wireless charging for this. You just sit on a pad and it charges, right? I think the roads are going to become wireless and your car is just going to be charged as you drive around. That's really the future, I think. But yeah, BYD, my friend's BYD, it's not a great car. It's a cheap, inexpensive EV car, and it does the job. It's not the best car, but it is great for the masses. The Neo is amazing. My buddy Fernando has a Neo. Go over to his channel from Mube and watch his channel. I haven't driven it. I didn't want to drive it. I'd kill myself in that thing. But the technology in the Neo is fascinating, and they're going to go places. He has Zip says, I have an American friend whose family is originally from there. He has the original bill of the house, 100 years old. It's amazing. I would love to see some of these, because a lot of the houses are in these protected areas now. They have to buy a ticket and go into the village and walk around. They have curators everywhere and stuff. And that's great. But the vast majority of these dialos are not in these little tourist areas. There's 4 or 5 of these little tourist villages. You can just go into a random village in the countryside. And remember, they're everywhere. There's hundreds of them. And walk around and check out the dialos. And I still haven't seen one that's lived in yet. But how hard would it be to purchase one of these in one of these random villages, spruce it up, keep its original kind of form and everything, but, redo the paint, put in some new windows and everything, and make it a home? I think it would be a fascinating thing, a fascinating project to redo one of these dialos. Bring it back to its original glory, because these were expensive homes back in the day. I think it would be a really cool thing to see someone do. Yeah. Hint, hint, wink, wink, for all of you rich guys out there, if you're interested in that. Okay. Okay, everyone can still see me. All right. Let's go back to the photos here. Okay, got a couple more, and then we will... Oh, what happened? Hold on a sec. Yes, all of my live streams are brought to you by fcustom.com, where you can get customized jerseys in baseball, basketball, and football. Hit the link below and enter the coupon code Walkabout Rojo for an additional 20% off. It came up. I had to do it. All right, let's go back to these photos here. Okay. So after Yingde, we then drove into Huyen. And we stayed at the A Tour of Huyen again. They remembered me, and they gave us a huge upgrade. I got a video coming out about the A Tour soon. Then we drove into the mountains, and this is an area. This is the largest reservoir in Guangdong, just on the other side of a ridge from the main city of Huyen. And it's a beautiful area. And to drive around this, there's a road that goes around it. To drive around it would take you hours. I mean, because there's all these inlets and everything. We found this random village, and we said, okay, let's check this out. And we got stuck. Whoop. Man, it's not working. What's going on here? So we drove out onto this area here. We drove down, and we're in Mona's Corolla at this time. We left my car here in Zhongshan. And we drove down this little road, and it had just rained. And it was a little muddy, but I didn't think too much of it, because we saw a lot of cars out there and, driving around. It was fine. and we got stuck. We didn't get stuck in the mud, but we couldn't get back up the road into the village. So we're stuck in this like floodplain area, and I got to tell this story. We're stuck in this floodplain area, and Mona's got a great attitude about it. She's like, it's part of the adventure. Yoo-hoo. I'm like, dude, we're stuck in the middle of nowhere. How are we gonna get out? It's New Year. It's Chinese New Year's Eve. I mean, we're hell and gone from the city. We're in nobody. We're God knows where. We're off a main road. No one knows where we are. And she's no problem, no problem. You know, she tried calling a tow truck. Tow truck didn't want to come out. She said, no problem. We'll just stay here. But she had such a great attitude about it. Anyway, we started thinking, how are we going to get out of this? You know, stuck down in this area, not being able to get back up the road. We tried and just spun our wheels in the mud and got so muddy. We walked into the village, and man, this is New Year's Eve. Everyone's with their families and stuff. And you knocked on the door and said, hey, someone come help us. We can't do it alone. And this guy came out, young man, kind of looked around and said, oh, yeah, I can help you out with this. No problem. And we got some boards from a local construction site. We started putting them down, driving over the boards and then, getting up a little bit on the road, then replacing the boards. This guy was working his ass off. I was in the driver's seat driving, and he was replacing the boards. And I got out a couple times, but it was, so muddy. I'm slipping and sliding all over the place. And finally got out. It didn't take very long, maybe half an hour to get out of this spot, with his help. So we got back up to the tops of the village, and we're thanking him. The sun's going down. We're thank you. And he's like, no problem. I'm like, all right, well, let me pay you. Let me give you some money. And he's like, no money. He was very adamant, no money. I'm like, and I said, well, let me give you my beer. Here's some beer. It's Chinese New Year. And he's like, no. He said, we Chinese, we don't do these things for money. You needed help. I'm happy to help. He just said that. And then he walked away. It blew my mind. And that's the type of attitude that I've had when I've come across issues in countryside areas. Anytime I need help or ask for something, people are so hospitable. And, we Chinese, no problem. He did ask for a Douyin video. So, he took a video of Douyin. We got it and said, thank you very much for your help. So we filmed a Douyin video for him. But I absolutely insisted that he take my beer and say, because I had beer for the night because we were going to be barbecuing and camping. I said, here, take my beer. And he's like, no, I don't want the beer. I'm like, dude, take my beer. He's like, all right, I'll take your beer. He's all saying this in Chinese, and Mona's translating. I'll take your beer if you let me do a Douyin video. Like, okay, sure. A wonderful guy. We got so lucky with this dude, and somewhere it'll be in the vlog. But a big thank you to him on Chinese New Year. After that, we drove down back into a different road, which was not muddy, and we found this spot where we watched the sunset all alone. Great drone footage from this area, and had a little campfire and a barbecue. It was a wonderful evening. It really was great. Yeah. So on behalf of myself and Mona, thank you to that young man who helped us out from the video. It's great. After that, we drove to Shanwei. This is Shanwei in the eastern part of Guangdong. I've driven through here, but I've never been to this part. This is a beautiful beach. It was packed. We got there, and the place was packed with people. The traffic was terrible. There were no restaurants open. The only restaurant open was McDonald's. I was hungry, so I was like, we got to get some McDonald's. So it took almost an hour, not quite an hour, but almost a full hour from the time I ordered to the time I got my hamburger at McDonald's. That's how busy it was here. As soon as the sun went down, it cleared out. There was hardly anybody there. We stayed in an apartment. Mona had this inn with some kind of management company to give us an apartment here and give us this beautiful view. And we walked along the beach. I got to come back to this beach because it is gorgeous. Now, these townhouses you see here, these townhouses are empty. There's nobody in them. They're shells. And I walked around this area and filmed some of it. It'll be in the vlog. But the beach in front of it is a beautiful beach, no waves. But right next to this is the Doubletree Hotel, which has some Hobie Cat sailboats, which, excuse me, you guys know me, I love to sail. And I sent this photo to my buddy Randall and said, look, we got to come here and take out these Hobies on a windy day, because you can see there's not much wind here in this picture. And then we stayed the night. We had a very nice, relaxing evening in this great apartment. Again, it'll all be in the vlog soon. All right. Then we went into Shenzhen, and we had some Indian food at a place called Bollywood. You guys know me. I love food, different types of food. Well, Mona introduced me to this Bollywood place. These were good. These were cold, a little spicy, some rice, a little food porn for you guys out there, right? We also had Taco Bell. We stayed at a place called the Hui Hotel, which is a design hotel. It won all kinds of awards. It's right, you can see here, this is the Shenzhen Central Park, and it looks into Futian. So this is taken from the rooftop of the Hui Hotel, overlooking the park. I've got a great video review about this hotel that will be coming out soon. And yeah, it was a great stay. Went into Coco Park. Mono makes fun of my picture here. And had Taco Bell. I did my pilgrimage to Taco Bell. The only other Taco Bell I've been to in China was in Shanghai. They opened up this one a couple of months ago. I did it on Rojo Reason News, and I finally got to go. This was terrible food. It made us sick. We were on the toilet for the night, but I'm so happy I got to do my pilgrimage here, and it tasted just like it does back home. It was great. So that is our trip. All right. Iceman asks, are you back to school and teaching? No, I'm not. I won't be back to the school until March 8th. So my term starts March 8th. It looks like I'll be the only foreign teacher again. My colleague will not be coming back in time for the term. And I've got my lecture schedule already. And it's not too bad. A lot of early mornings. So I'll be living at the college during this time. The construction will be there, but my lectures are first thing in the morning. So, the construction usually starts around 6:30. That's what time I'll wake up anyway, so it won't bother me too much. And again, I'll still keep this studio here, but I'll be spending the night at the college a little bit more often during the term. The term starts March 8th. So I got 3 more weeks. Max. Hey, Max. Good to see you, buddy. Max says, nice camping road trip. It was a great camping road trip and exploration. We didn't do everything we wanted to do. That's just what happens on, when you take a road trip. There are some places I really wanted to go to Meizhou and see the Tulo houses in the Hakka areas, but that was a little too far. I mean, that you're basically driving all the way to Xiaolan. So just because time, we were getting tired. I mean, being on the road for 2 weeks, that's a long time to be on the road. Gene says online or in classes. Oh wait, Iceman. Nicholas says look like it nasty. The food, the food was. Look, it's not good Mexican food. I don't recommend it to anybody. But if you're an American, you understand where Taco Bell stands in our culture. So I had to have a little bit of nostalgia. That's why I ate it for. It was a little taste of home, even though it was really bad Mexican food. Gene says online. I'll be teaching in class. I'll be lecturing in class. That's the plan. Things seem to be looking pretty good here in China as far as coronavirus goes. So the plan is to go back into the classroom March 8th. All right, with that being said, let's move on to the news. Wow, this is a great live stream so far, guys. Got a lot to talk about. Let's go through the news real quick. I won't do it all completely. Yes, again, F Custom, hit the link below and enter the coupon code Walkabout Rojo for additional 10% off. You guys know that. A little shameless self-promotion as these come up again. Okay, so you can buy me a coffee if you like. Thank you very much. You can support me on Patreon. I have 5 Patreons. I make $26 a month. That hasn't changed in a few months, guys. So if you're interested in supporting me and supporting what I'm doing, please, by all means, hit that. You can support me here. Yeah. I know a lot of guys make a lot of money on Patreon, but I mean, this is not a money-making endeavor. I lose so much money doing these videos, just the amount of time it takes, the equipment, the traveling. So every little bit helps. Also, by the way, check out my Facebook page. I'm doing a lot more on Facebook these days. And if you want to see photos of where I'm at, what I'm doing, weeks before the actual vlog gets edited and come out, you can follow me on Walkabout Rojo on Facebook. Also, Rojo Reads the News. Again, I have about 20 in the can, but I just got back, and I've got so much video work to do that I think I counted 13 videos, raw footage, for 13 videos from the road trip. That's great. Then I've got a bunch of other ones that I haven't finished yet, and a bunch more that I'll be filming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm scheduled a couple of car videos. Again, I'm not teaching right now, so I have the time to do all of this. Rojo Reads the News. I have them all in the can. I've got more on the way. It's just a matter of putting the finishing touches on and putting them out there. It's the vlog is my number one priority. Rojo Reads the News is just for fun, but a lot of people seem to like Rojo Reads the News. So go over there, subscribe to it. There are more coming very, very shortly. I haven't abandoned that channel. Gene says, our students aren't back yet. We haven't gotten word yet. Well, you live in Shanghai, right? Oh, Hangzhou. Gene. And it's a different world in northern China. You have that's where the outbreaks were. Here in Guangdong, they put a lot of restrictions on us just out of an abundance of caution. There wasn't really a thing that they were fighting, but they didn't want to fight it. So they really didn't look at it too much or put too much restriction on it. The plan is still go back into the classroom, and things look like they're getting better here. So hopefully that's the same for you, brother. Mona and I watched Soul movie again also. I get that with Asian Western pizza like Pizza Hut or Pizza Company. Pizza Hut pizza is not good pizza. I'm sorry. It's frozen. I mean, I like Pizza Hut breakfast because for 29 RMB I can get a bacon and eggs and a salad and a all-you-can-drink coffee in the morning. So I go to Pizza Hut for the breakfast, but it's not good. There's better pizza everywhere else. You have to pay money for it, though. I mean, pizza's not cheap in China. Okay. A couple more. Let's do some news. Okay, so what's this one? 89,000 people caught illegally entering and exiting China in 2020. This is a short little one. I'm shocked that people try to get in and out of China at all. The borders here are extremely tight. There are ways to get across like there is in other countries, but this one surprised me. Authorities across China seized 89,000 people illegally entering and attempting to exit China in 2020. The Immigration Authority also solved 1,957 drug-related cases and seized over 12 metric tons of drugs and nearly 600 tons of materials used to make drugs. They also handled more than 8,200 cases related to impeding border management and arrested 13,000 suspects. Yeah, don't try to come here illegally, guys. In an effort to comply with national COVID-19 control and prevention measures, border inspection organs used big data analysis to screen out people entering the country from high-risk regions and issued early warnings to other pandemic control departments. I haven't crossed the border in over a year, so I haven't been near a border. I don't want to go near a border. They're a nightmare to navigate, I'm sure. Gene, you say Pizza Hut pizza isn't the same in China. I think it's the same, man. I could be wrong. I think it might be different in New York compared to LA. I know regionally Pizza Hut is different throughout America. In LA, Pizza Hut is like a takeout fast food joint. But when I was in the Midwest, it was, kind of a sit down Pizza Hut restaurant. You go to a pizzeria, you sit down with your family. I don't know what it's like in New York, but to me, the pizza here at Pizza Hut tastes the same as it does in LA. I don't see any difference. Although their flavors are different. They have like durian pizza here. Yeah, so the flavors are much different. But they also have like the flat California style pizzas as well. Okay, next. I don't know what. I mean, there's always a thing: New York versus Chicago pizza, right? But I'm on the fence that Chicago deep dish pizza isn't real pizza. It's more like pie, right? But there are Chicago style pizzas similar to New York pizza, and I love going to New York and getting a slice. Man, there's nothing better than grabbing a slice, freshly heated, folding it, and walking down the road eating it. I mean, that's New York pizza. But I love Chicago style pizza too. But California style pizza is like less cheese, a little more Italian. It's flat bread. It's a lot more vegetables, a little bit healthier. I like it all. I'm not one of these guys that says, "Oh, one's better than the other." They're just different, I think. All right, let's go to the next one. Pause in WeChat TikTok ban, a positive signal for ties. I agree. The U.S. government on Thursday asked the court to halt the proceedings surrounding the former Trump administration ban on Chinese app WeChat after a similar suspension of TikTok and other court on Wednesday. I've talked about this in the past. I don't want to talk about politics. I'm not getting into this, but I think the ban on these two apps was just stupid. I didn't understand. I didn't buy the reasons they were saying. I still don't. These are harmless apps. If you choose to use them in the West, then just like any social media, you choose to use social media, Facebook or anything, you're basically choosing to give your information to other people. So no one's forcing you to use these. It's your choice to use them. So to ban them doesn't make any sense to me. But analysis said the move is a positive sign for improving China-U.S. bilateral ties and mitigating the tensions. I agree. I think this is a great thing. The idea that we can undo some of these tensions and kind of relieve the pressure between our two countries on a business side, start to work together. This is what I'm hoping to see more of. Okay, so you guys can read the rest of that later. China's box office roars while Hollywood remains on mute. I miss movies. We had Wonder Woman come out. Tenet came out a few months ago. Then Wonder Woman, which is a bomb. And there haven't been any Hollywood movies released in China. Normally during CNY, you get a lot of Chinese movies anyway. But as I said, most people are not traveling for CNY this year, so they're staying home. They're going to the malls, and they're going to the movies. And they're going to see Chinese movies. And so this doesn't surprise me at all. By the way, the new trailers for Zack Snyder's Justice League have been dropping lately, and I couldn't be more excited. A couple more weeks. What is that? 1 month away, and then they drop the Zack Snyder Justice League. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm sorry, I geek out a little bit on that. Yeah, the BBC ban, that's tit for tat. Yeah, that's what that is. China's box office was off to a roaring start during the crucial Lunar New Year holiday, while the majority of cinemas remained closed to North America, underscoring the diverging fates of the world's two largest film markets. By 7 p.m. on Friday in Beijing, China's box office had already made 1.7 billion in sales, billion yuan, according to a booking service, Maoyuan, with 10 major homegrown films set to release during the holiday period. The pandemic has brought a striking divergence between Hollywood, the long-running entertainment capital of the world, and China, which toppled the U.S. last year as the biggest moneymaker in box office sales. One thing that, while cinemas in the U.S. and Europe remain largely empty as the pandemic drags on, China's box office has recovered sharply as movie attendance has returned to nearly normal levels. This is, the pandemic here is, it's not as much of a thing. It's still a thing here. I mean, people are still on edge and talking about it. But, the movie theaters are open. And the thing about Chinese box office, though, it's for the Chinese market. It's not an international market for the most part. There are a few movies that cross those borders. Zhong Yimou movies are still my favorite Chinese director. He crosses borders well. But most of the Chinese movies will never make it beyond the, you know, I mean, they don't show Chinese movies in America, really. But American movies are shown throughout the world. That's why it's a big moneymaker. But we're not seeing them. So a lot of them keep getting pushed off. And it's not just Hollywood, but it's British. Bollywood is still making movies, though. Okay. Coronavirus leaves China over 35s with uncertain job prospects. This is another culture thing. I know many people over 35 who are feeling this right now. So I thought this was an interesting story. For some Chinese workers, celebrating their 35th birthday is starting to feel like a curse. Amid the frenzied competition for jobs stirred up by the economic impact of the pandemic, a growing number of employment ads are imposing age limits of 35, leaving many Chinese nearing middle age feeling uncertain about their futures. Complaints about age discrimination in the job market, including positions in civil service, have flooded Chinese social platforms. State media even have the name of the trend, the age 35 phenomenon. David Huang, who is in his 40s, is one of the scores of Chinese workers above 35 feeling increasingly vulnerable. After the small clothing factory he owned in the southern province of Guangdong closed last year, he now treps between wet markets and roadside stalls trying to sell his remaining inventory of about 10,000 garments. Yeah. So, by the way, age discrimination is legal in China. It's perfectly allowed. Yeah. Here's nearly 2/3 of people aged 35 and above were laid off in March last year. We're still looking for jobs in September, according to a report released last month. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, mortgage payments and other costs, children's education, medical bills. Yeah, gotta have a job, guys. It's a slow recovery, but it is recovery. Wait, they got some. Movies are very slow. I'm tired of seeing the same old movies, Nicholas says. Yeah, we got some new movies coming out. Exciting. I'm to be honest with you, I'm tired of the streaming TV shows. There's these episodic 12-episode TV shows that are, once you watch a couple of them, you're either hooked or you say, nah. And so if you say, nah, to it, then you don't get any closure. If you say, okay, I'm hooked, I'm going to watch it, then you've got this huge time, commitment to finish it. And then, of course, there's season 2 and season 3. And so it just becomes a time suck. I like movies because you can sit down like a book and from beginning to end in a certain time frame and get a good story. It doesn't have cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger. So that's what I'm tired. I'm tired of streaming TV shows. The Mandalorian was great. I binge watched that. It took a long time to finish it. But these other ones, what is the one everyone's talking about now? This the Marvel one, Wanda Vision, I think it's called. Everyone's talking about that. I can't start. If I start that, I won't be able to finish it. I have other things to do. I have a life to lead, so I can't get into these shows, guys. And there's tons of them, and there are more coming out. Disney announced tons more for Marvel, tons more for Star Wars. It's getting too much. I don't have time. I like going to the movie theater and being entertained for an evening after a dinner, and then going home and going to bed. When you binge watch, man, you say, I got to watch the next one. An hour later, oh, that was great. Got to watch the next one, and before you know, it's 3 a.m. Gene says the Snyder Cut looks good. It does, and I think it's going to be like 4 episodes. The difference between the Snyder Cut and these episodic ones is that the Snyder Cut Justice League was supposed to be like a 4-hour movie, and they did the reshoots and everything. So I'm really excited because the studio just gutted that movie. It was a terrible movie. Was it Josh Whedon finished it, I guess? But I'm really excited for the Snyder Cut. Nicholas says, I'm really excited to see James Bond movie. I am too. Very excited to see James Bond. Marco Polo. Marco Polo was a series? I don't know that one. I don't have Netflix here, so. Iceman says, hit the like, people. Yes, hit the like. Thank you so much, Iceman. They're all connected with the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. They make you have to watch it. No, they don't. If they're smart, I mean, fanboys will have to watch it because they have to get the nitty gritty. But each movie should be a film among itself. And you shouldn't have to watch one movie to watch another in the franchise. You can watch all the Avengers movies and still have a good time without watching the entire cinematic universe. And then combining that with the television series that you see on Netflix or Disney Plus, I think is a bad move because the majority of moviegoers do not watch all of this. They just want to go and enjoy a movie. So each film needs to be a standalone film in order for it to make money. Otherwise, people are going to be lost and they're not going to enjoy the movie and they're going to stop going. So hopefully that's the case. Baidu offers autonomous vehicle service in Guangzhou. Okay, so over 50 autonomous vehicle pickup stations have been set up in the Huangpu district of Guangzhou. Chinese tech company Baidu has introduced a fleet of around 40 autonomous vehicles, including taxis and buses, to Guangzhou. The company said up to 5 types of vehicles will be available at a service platform Baidu has launched with the city. So they're coming. The platform is the world's first to allow people to hail different types of autonomous vehicles. People can make reservations on their smartphone via the Baidu Maps and Apollo Go applications. Over 50 pickup points have been set up in the district. Autonomous vehicles. They're here. We've seen them. People have been testing them. They have drivers with their hands above the wheels, ready to grab it. But this is the thing now. I mean, Mona's Corolla, it's a 2020 Corolla, has the lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control. It basically drives itself, just with simple technology. And I know that Chang'an and NIO and Tesla all have their autonomous driving modes. It's coming. And DD drivers, you've got DD drivers everywhere. Uber drivers in the West, they're going to be out of business because we're going to have autonomous vehicles. Here's the first self-driving e-bus on commercial use in operation. I think there's a picture of it here. Oh, this is in Chongqing. February 5th, the world's first self-driving electric bus for commercial use named Apalong began its trial operation in southwest China's Chongqing. That's what it looks like. I've seen things like this here. I know they have it in Hangzhou. I've seen it in Guangzhou as well. We're moving along quickly, guys. Moving along quickly. Okay, one more. Let's talk about Li Ziqing. Chinese vlogger again sets Guinness World Record on YouTube for what? Now, this is Li Ziqi, excuse me. And if you probably know about this, a lot of the YouTube community's been talking about her and trying to politicize this crap. Forget all that. All this political crap that's going around with the Chinese vlogging community is stupid bullshit. So forget all of that and enjoy the videos for what they are. And Li Ziqing is one of them. Her videos are beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous to watch for a couple minutes and enjoy the beauty of what you're looking at. And that's what I love about this. I don't care who makes it, who funds it. Doesn't matter. I don't give a crap about all that crap. I just want to be entertained when I watch content. So that's what I do here. The other day, the official Weibo account of the Guinness World Record announced on Tuesday that Chinese vlogger Li Ziqi set a new record for most subscribers for the Chinese language channel on YouTube by going from 11.4 million subscribers in July 2020 to 14.1 million subscribers. And there's a reason. It's because they are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful videos. I'm a fan. Go check them out. Okay. Oh. How are we doing, guys? How long have we been on? I have no idea. How long have we been on? Quite a while. I can't see. But that's okay. Let's see. Got some more comments here, and then we will sign off for the night. Nicholas says, yes, yeah, it was a series on Netflix about Mongolia and China, and it was well made. Marco Polo. I'm gonna have to check this one out. Marco Polo. Oh, I did hear about this. I remember hearing about this. Yeah, that was a while ago, this Marco Polo one. Okay. Venetian merchant and adventurer Marco Polo journeys across Europe and Asia and lands up as a prisoner in a place in Kabul Khan, a 13th century Mongolian empire. Okay, Nicholas is giving me a little bit of the background on this. I think I talked about that. Yeah. All right, guys. It's late. Tomorrow, thank you for joining me. It was a great live stream. Nice long live stream. I'm glad to be back. Tomorrow, I've got to do some work in the new studio. I'm going to be working up there for the next couple of weeks, redoing everything, taking everything out, cleaning it up, new walls, new curtains, new everything. Everything's going to be brand new in there. So it's a 2-week project that I'm going to be working on. In addition, I'll be working on the 13 videos that I've got coming out from the road trip. I got some more car videos. I got hotel review videos. I got more food, including the Zhongshan Hamburger Hunt Part 2. Thank you all for joining me, and I wish you are all safe and happy wherever you are. Take care.